This is season two of Rise and Thrive with Dr. J. Nicole.
Yeah, we step in our life, feel good, we alive, everything aligned. Yeah, we rise and thrive with Dr. J. Nicole. Give a long way, yeah, we still growing. Feet on 10, yeah, still showing.
Welcome to Rise and Thrive with Dr. J. Nicole, where we explore the stories that shape us, the faith that sustains us, and the purpose that calls us forward. There are seasons in life that don't feel fair, seasons that stretch you, seasons that test you, seasons that quietly ask more of you than you've ever expected to give. But what if those seasons aren't here to break you? What if they're preparing you? And today's guest is someone who has lived that question in real time. LB Towns Jr. He's a senior at Howard University and the founder of Save the Youth Foundation, an organization rooted and pouring into the next generation. Before the leadership, before the impact, there was a young man growing up in Columbus, Ohio, learning what it means to carry responsibility early and to keep moving forward, even in the face of adversity. LB, welcome to Rise and Thrive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, glad you could be here today. So, LB, I want to start with the beginning of your story. Before we get to Howard or anything that you're building right now, take us back to Columbus. What was life like for you growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, in the Linden area, pretty underprivileged community, I would say. Grew up with 18 siblings. There was 16 of us that grew up together in one household. We're all just about a year apart and one set of twins. So we have a pretty structured and faith-based family growing up in a church or whatnot. In different activities and sports, it was pretty active, pretty busy. It was a lot going on, I would say, throughout our experiences growing up. But I would definitely say it's definitely been a unique experience as one of the older siblings, and just being able to be a role model and build those skills for my siblings, be someone for my siblings to look up to, definitely is a blessing, I would say. So just being able to pour into my younger siblings and my community as well, just growing up and having a sort of a success that I had in my community for someone to really be a role model for someone to look up to.
Yeah, 18 siblings. You don't hear that anymore that often today. Like, you really don't. So, where do you fall in that birth order?
So so my dad had 19 children in total. I'm the fifth oldest, and he has 16 by my mother, and I'm her second oldest, her oldest boy. So yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a lot to carry, right? 18 siblings. And as the oldest son, that comes with a certain weight. What did that experience teach you about responsibility or even leadership early on?
Just growing up with as an older sibling, it definitely taught me a lot. I just being responsible and leading by an example at a very early age. Just being someone that my siblings, my younger siblings look up to, and they're following my every step and watching everything that I do holds me accountable for sure and lets me know that someone is always watching. So just something to look forward to. And something keeping in mind that just being a leader and doing what's right don't just go out the door. It does mean something more than just myself.
Yeah, did that ever feel like pressure for you?
Not necessarily, but if it is pressure, I would say like good pressure. Like I think just having people around you or things around you that hold you accountable is a good thing rather than bad. Or like people, I would definitely say people holding you to a higher standard is definitely a good thing as well because they expect greatness from you. They expect you to do certain things in a certain way, and I always think that's a blessing as well that people will look up to you and hold you at a high light.
Okay, it sounds like you were able to rise to the expectation for sure. So, every family has moments that shift everything. Can you take us into a season when your family lost your home and what that experience was like for you personally?
Yeah, so I was in the middle of a AAU basketball game on a Sunday, and my family is at home getting ready for church, and my parents was actually at my game, and they like get a phone call from my younger siblings, and This is the summer of 2021. Going to my summer year right before my senior year of high school. And I don't hear about it till after my game because this is the middle of the game. And my sister had texted me that my house actually burnt down, and they had to evacuate everyone out the house. So we're fortunate enough to nothing that happened to my family. Like everyone was safe. But that was definitely a humbling experience. As we had to move out of our house and move into the hotel for about 5 to 6 months. So it was all of us in the hotel. Like I said, it was a humbling experience. Just being a family, a very big family, and a lot of people knowing us in the community. It received like a lot of publicity. It was all over the news and everything. But we definitely was able to receive a lot of support from our community, and know that people had our back. A lot of people reached out, and that was a blessing. But we also was able to get closer with ourselves, like just being in life, most of us all in like one room. It was like only 2, 3 rooms, and we definitely got closer together and was able to get closer to God as well. I also think it was for us to persevere through adversity, honestly, and know that we are gonna have bumps in our lives, and we was able to push through that through a very tough time during around COVID as well. So I definitely think that was something that my family had to get over, and it pushed everyone to be better and better themselves and learn more about themselves and get a closer relationship with our family and God as well. So I think that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, to them that are the called according to his purpose, right? And there's a purpose behind everything. So what was that like in the hotel? Like what were the arrangements with your family being so large?
Yeah. So it was all the boys, which was 8 of us. All the boys was in one room and all the girls was one room. And then my parents were in the room. So yeah, most of us, yeah, it was only so many beds. We was on the couch, splitting up and stuff. So yeah, that was definitely very unique experience. Going into my senior year, trying to figure out how I wanted to matriculate. Still trying to focus on sports and everything, and thinking about my next steps into college. It was definitely added on responsibility in my life. Just trying to figure out how we was gonna like what we were gonna eat, like how certain people were getting back and home because the school that I was going to at least was near my house, so the hotel wasn't as close to my house. So I was, rather than like taking a stroll or a walk, I was having to get like rides around and stuff, and that was a lot. That was more put on. Then I wanted to add to like my parents' plate as well. So I would
Yeah.
definitely say just a little stuff like that, just trying to like all my siblings trying to get from and to here, different practice and different activities. We was going to like different schools as well. So between elementary, middle, and high school, and yeah, God was able to make a way. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, if you're open to sharing, what did growing closer to God look like for you and your siblings during that time?
So yeah, first we was definitely praying a lot more. Definitely were just relying on faith because we didn't know what that may look like, if we was gonna have to move out, how we was gonna pay for like the hotel and everything, because everything is expensive. Um, Everything costs. Like we wasn't staying there for free. And then trying to what were the next steps looking like. So we really just had to rely on our faith in God. We have still to this day, we picked up fasting. So we fast every Wednesday. We've been doing that since that situation. So about 5 years now.
Wow.
So we fast every Wednesday from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we fast and pray. So we relinquish like all food and everything to really just focus. And then we've been doing that since that situation. That's what I would definitely say. That and just like reading in our word, making sure we just waking up, reading the Bible, saying our scriptures each and every day, and still trying to remain on our schedule. Like nothing really changed. Like through the adversity and everything that was going on, we were still waking up in the morning and running like per usual. We were still having prayer, and Bible study in the morning before we went to school, and everything stayed the same. So it wasn't too difficult because our schedule remained very structured. But yeah, it was definitely a lot more praying that was done for sure. And I could tell like other people around us, other family definitely was we were definitely in their prayers as well.
I don't know if I've read somewhere or if I saw somewhere your father's a pastor, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, because I'm like, this structure and the fasting and the praying, like, that's remarkable and a different level of discipline. So, how have you been able to maintain that being away from your family, being at Howard, being in DC? There's food everywhere, all types of cuisines and cultures and different things like that. And even just navigating that socially with friends.
Yeah, so I would definitely say just growing up, making sure what was instilled with me still doesn't change when I go off anywhere else. It don't matter where I may be. Just know like what I've been like trained to do and like what was instilled um in my structured family, just growing up, making sure that stays the same wherever I'm at, no matter the environment, that I'm just staying true to myself and what I believe in. So that's more so the main thing. I definitely make sure when I'm here at school that I'm still working out, waking up, running, praying, talking to God, going to church when I can. So just making sure I'm still staying disciplined and living that balanced life as well.
Okay. And was your dad also an athlete? Because I heard you say that we would wake up and run. That sounds like an
Yeah,
athletic
yeah.
father's program.
Yeah, so yeah, my pops, he definitely instilled that in us at an early age. I probably started running like 4 or 5 years old, played multiple sports.
Really?
But yeah, he had actually ran cross country in college and then ended up boxing and actually qualified for Olympics. He's
Oh, wow.
he was an undefeated two-time boxing champ in college. So yeah, and inspired with Muhammad Ali actually. So yeah, he's a top boxer.
Okay,
Mm.
senior.
So yeah.
He's like that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Quick pause. I've been loving Canvas Beauty, a Black woman owned brand all about confidence and self care. Shop canvasbeautybrand.com/Genie3 and use code Genie3 to save. Now back to Rise and Thrive. So, what was the response like of your community after your family was displaced and losing the home to the fire?
Yeah, so like I was saying, my community was very like supportive. It was reaching out when they heard the news, offering the support. My teacher actually had came to the hotel and offered support. It was a lot of different people from the community and family was definitely came to the hotel, fed us, brought food. People had, like bought clothes, just different stuff. It was a lot of definitely support. GoFundMe was up, and we probably was able to get about 45,000 dollars. So it was a lot of support overall. I would definitely see.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing, and that's a lot to carry, and especially at that stage in life for you, right? Like, you're trying to figure out your next steps, and a big part of your foundation was, up in the air, if you will, and, for you to be able to stay grounded during that time and not lose sight, because there's a lot of people that would have handled that differently and maybe would have turn to some maybe unhealthy or unsavory ways to cope. So during that time, like what helped you to really stay grounded?
Just being very close to my family. We were very like tight knit family. Being close to them and like knowing like our faith in God and knowing like he gonna have us at the end of the day. He really will put you in position to rely on him and like have faith in him. Like when you at your lowest is when not only the time when you should rely on him, but that's gonna be a time where like you're like most vulnerable and no one can help you but God. So that was definitely a position we was in because a lot of people like were trying to help and it just was kind of like out of people's control, especially the situation we was in. So it was nobody but God.
Yeah, God is so amazing. Like, you're right. Like, He meets us in our most vulnerable and even in our lowest places. So, you've also spoken about the role your father has played and the role of shaping who you are. How did his journey from athletics to ministry shape the way that you understand purpose and faith today?
I would definitely say just the way we were just brought up and how we were taught. Main thing was very structured and having things in order with was God, family, academics, and athletics was always like that structure and our priorities just growing up and something that was definitely expected and yeah, my pops always wanted us to make sure we were strong, that we was tight mentally, physically, and spiritually. And that was something that was always kept in mind. Quote will always say is I'm somebody, I'm gonna make it, you can't stop me, I'm gonna get all A's and I'll see you at the top. And that's something he instilled in us since just growing up as well. And that we can do all things to Christ who gives us strength. Philippians 4:13.
And so I
He's
love
actually
that
an
and the
actor.
power of words.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
don't your dad do?
he went to school for acting. But yeah, it's funny you ask. He's a pastor, a retired teacher. So he's a teacher, tutor, um, a trainer, obviously. Um, he goes out to churches and do preach at funerals, visit nursing homes, training coach, really a life coach, a counselor. He just someone if you need the call, he would be there. He goes to the juvenile centers as well, and yeah, he really do it all.
Wow, those are big shoes that your dad
Yeah.
has there. And I love what you said about the way your dad basically taught you the importance of mind, body, and spirit. Because I was thinking, how is he doing all of this, right? And then it came back to me mind, body, and spirit. He's taking care of himself holistically. And so when you're doing that and you're really relying on God and not trying to do things in your own strength, you have time, and when you put God first, he, like, expands time for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so now your journey or is there anything else before we shift to Howard that you think is important to share? Okay, and I do have a question about your siblings. How old is your youngest sibling today?
Blessing is 7, and Blessing Towns, the 7 years old.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, what did it mean to you to step onto a campus like Howard University and with the legacy that comes with Howard.
Honestly means a lot. It means a lot to be able to step on a canvas where there's a lot of rich history, a lot of notable black influential people was at the same university that I attend, and I'm definitely honored to be here. When I was applying and I accepted to go to Howard University, I didn't know too much about it. I just know it was a HBCU in DC. But now I started doing research and I was telling people that I did got accepted to Howard. They was more so telling me like, "Oh, you got accepted to Howard. That's a big thing. Go to Howard. Go to Howard." I was doing research, seeing that was the number one HBCU, and it was a very prominent place in the middle of DC. They got very good programs and they offer a lot of support, and you're gonna be surrounded by a lot of people that want you to be great and that aspire to be successful as well.
Okay, so you came for academics and athletics. So tell us about your involvement on campus and your studies.
Yeah, so I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Beta chapter, where our aims are mainly the scholarship and love for our mankind. And through that I've been able to influence and impact a lot of people here on campus in many ways, whether it's community service, social activities, etc. And yeah, I'm also a fellow for the Music Warner Center, or learning the ins and outs of the music industry and being able to connect and plethora of ways amongst that as well. And being able to start my nonprofit Save the Youth Foundation and being able to um, impact a lot of people on a greater scale through my nonprofit as well, as we tend to impact underprivileged students and youth to help them overcome systematic challenges to be successful. So yeah, I've been pretty involved here on Howard's campus. Also walked on to Howard's men's basketball team last year. So yeah, that's been a blessing, definitely been experienced, and definitely said uh everything I was looking for to get out of Howard, I definitely received that, and more. So definitely blessed to experience this here at Howard University, not the Mecca.
Yeah, Howard's a very special place. So I didn't go to Howard for undergrad, but after I pledged Delta, I made it my business to come back for the very first homecoming after I crossed over and had to find my way to Howard some kind of way, right? Howard is a really, really special place, and we're walking the same halls and pathways as giants, right? If you will, when you think about the impact so many of our alum have had globally. Right.
Mhm.
Um, so you can tell us a little bit more about your nonprofit. So if folks want to know more and support the efforts that you're doing.
Yeah, so like I said, not my nonprofit is mainly to help support the next upcoming generation from underprivileged areas. I more so started to get back to my community back at home and my siblings and be able to tell my unique story on a global platform. So I've been able to do that through Save the Youth Foundation, where a couple of events, impactful events I've been able to do was my one initiative was the HBCU Lead Your Legacy initiative, where I was able to collaborate with Howard University and go out. Be fortunate enough to go to Miami and New York and do a HBCU Howard recruiting initiative, to where we talked about our HBCU experience and Howard experience, and why young people like them and how we relate to them, and why they should also come to Howard University as well, and just the different programs that Howard offer, and what it's like to be on a Howard campus, and the experience that we've been able to get from that, and the connects and the networking, and why it's important for young Black people to go to college and further their education as well. So that was definitely a blessing and very impactful on a greater scale, and definitely want to be able to do more things like that at different high school and middle schools as well. Another initiative was the Howard University Men's Summit that was curated in February during Black History Month. It was a very vibrant experience for Black men on Howard's campus, knowing that we only represent 26% of Howard University, just to come together and network and really connect as Black men, a space, a center for us to be open and have built a sense of community. It was very impactful, received a lot of great feedback. And overall, it was just wonderful, a wonderful experience. It was a great outcome. Just being able to bridge that gap between alumni, staff, students, student leaders, student athletes, the LGBTQ plus community. And yeah, it was just a great experience amongst all men. So just looking forward to make that an annual thing as well. And yeah, just wanted to be able to impact people on a greater level through my nonprofit. And
Okay, so you've definitely left more than an imprint on campus, right? Like it sounds like a legacy has been created and you are also creating pathways for future scholars to make it to Howard, but before all of that, I understand during your freshman year there was a very traumatic and deeply sensitive incident that happened. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that
yeah, what was it again?
with your father? Your freshman
Oh
year?
yeah, my freshman year. Oh, exactly. So my freshman year of college, it was like my fall semester, and I'm at school, and I received a call from my father, and he's kind of like talking, but I can't really hear him, so I'm just kind of like unsure. Everything's like muffled into what he's saying, and I'm not sure it was like something wrong with his phone, but he's kind of like telling me, or like someone else was telling me that he wasn't feeling well, and he had to like go to the hospital and everything. And I kind of just like broke down crying because I honestly couldn't hear or understand nothing he was saying. and come to find out that he was experiencing a stroke. So that was very like traumatic that he had like go through that, and I wasn't like there to like really like physically support him because I was all the way in DC, and just seeing him have to go through that was definitely a hard experience for sure. Just knowing like we was very close. We have the same name, obviously, so yeah. That was definitely an experience, definitely something that was kind of like just opened my mind. When I went back home, he had to learn how to like walk and like talk again. But just knowing like his faith in God as well, and knowing how strong he is, that he was able to persevere through that personally, and be strong for like his family as well. Yeah.
All right, beautiful people. If this episode has already blessed you in any sort of way, we ask that you like, subscribe, follow, share, and leave comments. Feedback helps this message reach the people who need it most. And if you're listening and thinking, I'm ready to go deeper in my healing journey, we invite you to join our school community where we continue these conversations between episodes. And it's an opportunity to connect with like minded individuals committed to growth, healing, and purpose. Also, do not forget you can shop the merch and also explore all things Evolve at evolvewithdrjnicole.com. If you love today's look and you're wondering about this hair, you can use my promo code with the link in the description to get 15% off with Eunice hair. That's UNICE. Thank you for rising with us. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, I can definitely resonate with that. So I was raised by my great aunt and her husband, where he also had a stroke, had to learn to walk and talk and everything all over again. So I can resonate with that and seeing the strength of the family in such a vulnerable state, but still seeing that strength there and regaining those abilities is, while it's hard to see them in that state, but to see them rise, right? That's a whole other experience in it of itself. And LB, listening to you, what stands out is that you didn't just go through these experiences. It sounds like you grew through them and you stayed the course. You stayed connected to your values and you stayed true. And that's something that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
And even with everything that you were carrying, you still made the decision to give back, right? And so you've been involved in the Men's Summit and focusing on brothership and leadership. Why do you think those spaces are so important right now?
I believe it's very important to want to give back and help the next generation. The next generations are the future. These younger people are the next leaders, are the next presidents, the future doctors, the future nurses, the future lawyers, the future NBA stars. Yeah, so the like we're the future. So I honestly think we should do whatever we can to just want to pour into our community, give back, uplift the next generation because they're a reflection of us. We're all the same. We're all the same people. We are one person. When one person make it out, we all make it out. So that's kind of how I think about it or look at it holistically. Because we all we all should want to see each other win. And that's just kind of been a person that I always been, just helping the next person, helping the next brother and the next sister, and just being very supportive. Yeah, I think that's very important and very prominent that we need to be doing that more, especially in our community, in the Black community. That yeah, we only as strong as as each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so you created the Save the Youth Foundation. What inspired you to start that? And what part of your story showed up with making that decision to start it?
It was what inspired me to start it was really my family. It's a family based organization. So just being able to be a part of that keeps or be able to keep my family even closer as we matriculate and advance our organization as well. The first event I had was called the Save the Youth. Um it's called Save the Youth. It was in my community, and Linda Recreation Center, actually a place where I grew up at, and was able to be in a space where people pour into me, poured into my community, pour into my siblings as well. The community, the rec center was definitely a space for us to be ourselves, be around people that look like us, that wanted to grow and find like follow our dreams. So my first event was there, and honestly, it was just I feel like after that event, it was a calling, and all I did was more so just talk about my matriculation at Howard University, how I was able to get to Howard University, what it looked like to go to college. Because a lot of people in my community, they're not going to college, they don't know what college is about, and they don't think it's attainable. So I think it's very important for someone like me that is in college and have that experience and it can relate to people in my community because these are people that not only live in Columbus, but they live down the street from me. So round the corner. So these people, we probably watched each other grow up. So, and I'm not even that much older than them. I'm maybe 3, 4, 5 years older than these people. So I think it's very important as a younger person to be able to pour in and let everyone know that everything I'm doing that they can do it as well. They can start their own business. They can be an entrepreneur. They can start a clothing brand. They can start a nonprofit. They can get into real estate. They can start their hair business. They can do nails. They can do whatever that they put their mind to. And it don't even have to just be going to college, but anything that they aspire to do that it could be done like in any way, any capacity they think they could do it in. And I want that to be known and be heard amongst everyone that it doesn't have to be illegal things that you're doing or something that's performative or the wrong thing to make it out that they can do the right thing as well and be able to impact people on a greater level while doing it and bring other people up.
Love that. Having grown up in a similar type of situation in the Midwest myself. So I grew up in Racine, Wisconsin. So I totally understand. And that was something else that drew me to your story and wanting you to come on Rise and Thrive and share that with the audience. Okay, so we're approaching graduation, and graduation is always Mother's Day weekend at Howard University. So when you look ahead, what kind of impact do you want your life to have?
I want to have a global impact. Like, I want to be able to impact everybody. It could be somebody's grandson or the mayor or the president. Like, I want to be able to impact everyone in a very unique way. And it would be in different ways as well. So, whatever they may look like, can be from the men's summit or it can be from a food drive. It could be anything. I just want to be able to impact people and no other way they can be impacted.
Love that. And you have plenty of time, right? You have so much life ahead of you. And before the global impact, what's the next steps? What are your plans post graduation?
So yeah, my plans as of now is to get my master's here at Howard University. So I do plan on being in the DC area as well and matriculated in advancing safety youth foundation while I'm doing it and working in the DC area.
Okay. What are you going to get your master's in?
So the plan I'm going to get my master's in economics, urban development.
And that's in School of B?
No, that's in Nicole's building. So in economics.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't realize we had a whole separate economics
Yeah.
department. Okay. Okay. Awesome. All right. So we're continuing our study and going to be working and staying local. Okay. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. So for the person that's watching this who may be in a difficult season right now, what would you want them to hold on to?
I would want them to always stay true to themselves and surround themselves around people that impact them in any way possible or inspire them. They should surround themselves about those people that they feel like they can gain not always something like monetarily or physical, but like something that they can gain from like talking to them more so just words of like knowledge as well. So like just surround themselves around people that they think they can look up to or see themselves being around or think they can pour into as well. So something around that, and definitely just remaining and living a like a balanced life. You definitely don't want to overwork yourself, but then you definitely don't want to get caught up too much into the social life. So just remaining and keeping that balance is very important as well.
And actually, how did you maintain that balance being at Howard? Howard having its own social culture and then the district, the Columbia DC having its own culture. How did you maintain that balance socially?
I will always say just staying staying disciplined, always knowing why I came to Howard and why I came to get my academics, and knowing like my goal, my overall goal and what I want to do in my life, and that what it needs to take to get to that goal. Um and what's needed to be done got to be done. So yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much. And before we close, I want to ask you something that we ask everyone who joins us here on Rise and Thrive. When you think about everything you've lived through and everything you've learned, if you could leave someone listening with one powerful truth to help them rise and thrive as they navigate their own journey, what would it be?
What would it be? You can only be as much as you aspire to be.
All right. Well, LB, what's so powerful about your story is not what you've been through, but it's who you chose to become because of it. And to walk through seasons that could have easily discouraged you, you've stepped into leadership and into purpose. And you are a reminder that hard seasons don't just define us, they develop us. And thank you so much for spending time with us here today on Rise and Thrive. And to anyone watching and listening, if this conversation resonated with you, I want you to share it with someone who may need it. And if you haven't already, make sure you stay connected with this community. Wherever you're listening or watching, make sure you follow, you subscribe, and you stay plugged in with Rise and Thrive with Dr. J. Nicole for more conversations that support your growth, your healing, and your purpose. And if you're ready to go deeper, we invite you to join this community where we keep these conversations going and where you're supported as you do the work of rising and thriving on your own. LB, if the people want to stay connected with you or what if they want to know more about Save the Youth, where can they find more information?
Yeah, so if you want to stay connected and find me anywhere, you just look up LB Towns Jr., my name, on the internet, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and then for Save the Youth Foundation, it's savedyouth.fdn on Instagram, Facebook, and on the internet as well. So yeah, definitely stay connected, and definitely want to network and reach out and build from this. And if you guys have any questions or would like to connect or just hear more about my story and about myself, definitely willing to do that as well.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm Dr. J. Nicole, and until next time, keep rising in faith and keep thriving in purpose. Take care.
Thanks.